Now, I wet myself just by thinking about Omegle. If I could go back to that day, I would never go on Omegle. One day I turned on Omegle and got connected with a man wearing a zombie mask. I heard his voice behind the mask. "Oh, hey, you're either very lucky or unlucky to meet me on Omegle." He lowered the camera slightly, and behind the man, one person was rolling around on the floor, grabbing his face. He was letting out a great, painful groan. I was shocked and shortly tried to leave the chat room right away, but he continued talking. "Aren't you curious why this guy is doing this?" I was trembling silently without saying anything. Why didn't I leave the room that time? I think it was just because I was so curious, to be honest. He said, "My hobby is to turn on Omegle whenever I get bored and pick and kill one of the people I meet. There are so many different people in this world. Do you know how thrilling it is to be able to choose the one you want? It's easy to find the IP address like this." After a while, he started talking about the names of the streets near my house. I clamped my hands over my mouth in shock. Then he said, "I'm going to ask you a simple question from now on. If you answer correctly, I'll let you go. But if you answer incorrectly, you'll end up like this guy. So, let's begin. First question, why was this guy picked by me? Guess the answer." He pointed to the man groaning on the floor. I was perplexed. Then he said, "Oh yes, if you disconnect intentionally, your life will end too." I was thinking about how to get out of this situation. Thousands of thoughts popped into my head during that moment. At the time, my whole body started sweating, and he said, "Don't drag it on too long. I'm a type of person who gets very upset easily." I stammered, Did he make you angry?" He hit the desk and said, "Of course. When I took off the mask, this guy looked at my face and distorted his facial expression. I asked the guy how my face was like. Then he said, 'I'd rather die than live with a face like that.' And he laughed like it was really funny. After hearing that, I made up my mind to make him as he said." Then he slowly took off his mask. Under the mask, his face was severely crushed, as if all the skin had melted away. He continued talking. "I went to his house and poured hydraulic acid on his face to make it look the same. Then he grabbed my leg, saying, 'Please save me.' I said, 'Didn't you say that you would rather die than have a face like mine?' Then he rubbed his palms together and begged for forgiveness. I said to him, 'I will give you 3 days. Do what you said with your mouth.' And 3 days passed, but he didn't do anything. That's why I brought him here now, to kill him." How is it? Isn't it funny? I was shivering from top to bottom in shock and couldn't say anything more. Then he said, "Now, you tell me, how do you like my face?" He was smiling brightly with a blood-stained face. When I hesitated, he held up a piece of paper with my home address, which was written on it. "Tell me right now. If you don't answer, I'll get to you now." I said, I like your face." I really didn't know what to say. I thought it was the best option. Then he answered, "Oh yeah? So do you want to be just like my face?" I couldn't answer. Then he said,